Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Most. In the next series of tutorials, I'm going to show you how you can create awesome mobile applications using the Ionic framework. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's get started. So the first thing that you need to do is to download and install Node.js. So go to nodejs.org and click on the recommended version. Click on this button, the recommended for most users, and it will be downloaded for you whether you're using Windows or Mac or Linux. It doesn't matter. If you click here, it will download the package. It will download the file that is suitable for your operating system. So once it's downloaded, you need to open it and then click on continue, and then again continue with the license agreement, agree, and then destination select. I'm gonna leave it as the default, and then continue, and then click install, and it will be installed. And if you are using Windows or Linux, you will see the same window here that will take you through the same process, introduction and then license and all of these stuff. And once it's done, click on close. And we need to make sure that Node has been installed. To do so, if you are using Windows, you need to open CMD. You need to open CMD if you are using Windows, and in Mac you need to open the terminal. And then inside the terminal you have to type node and then minus and then V for version, and then hit enter, and it's gonna give you the version that has been installed. If you get the version, it means that Node has been successfully installed. If you don't get it, it means that it hasn't been installed successfully, and you need to repeat the process and make sure that you installed it in the right location. And again, for Windows, you need to follow the same process. In Windows, inside the CMD or the command prompt, you will also do the same. Just type node and then minus V and then hit enter. And we also need to make sure that npm has been installed. So type npm and then minus V and hit enter. And it's going to give you the version of the npm, which is the package manager, and it's very important to install packages and modules. After installing Node and npm, we need to install now Ionic and Cordova. And make sure that you have installed Node.js correctly. If you didn't do so, you can click on here, Node.js installer. And this is from the ionic.com/docs/v3, version 3 of Ionic. And in order to install Ionic and Cordova, you need to open terminal in Mac and CMD or command prompt in Windows. So I'm going to open terminal in Mac, and you need to type this command in terminal or CMD or command prompt in Windows. So I'm going to open the terminal and I'm going to add this command. But before you type this command in, only for Mac users, you need to type sudo and then npm and then install and then -g and then Ionic and then Cordova to install Ionic and Cordova. Once you do so, hit enter, and it's gonna ask you for the password for your computer. You need to type this password. Once you type the password, just hit enter, and as you can see, it's going to start installing Ionic and Cordova, and of course it's going to take some time. After it's successfully installed, it's going to tell you about the location where Cordova and Ionic have been installed, and also the number of packages, all of these stuff. So now we have installed Ionic and Cordova successfully. In order to create our project, I'm going to open the terminal. And if you are using Windows, you need to open CMD or Command Prompt and do the same. So open the terminal. And first of all, I'm going to navigate to desktop. And then I'm going to create our project. So I'm going to type Ionic start. And then I can continue with other commands like typing the project name and the type of project. But if I just type Ionic start and hit enter, it's going to start asking me what type of project you want, what is the name of the project. So it's pretty simple. So here I'm going to name our project Insta and then hit enter. And then it's going to ask you what starter would you like to use. I'm going to use the tabs. So you can use anything else, but in this project I'm going to use the tabs. And then it's going to take some time to download stuff and folders and create our project. And now once our project is ready, as you can see, it's going to tell you go to your newly created project by using the CD and then Insta. And now we are inside our project. And as you can see, it's on our desktop. In order to run our project, you need to type this command Ionic serve. And what this is going to do is that it's going to open the browser and run our project. Let's hit enter. And as you can see now, we have the starter project running in our browser. And it's a tab project. A very important concept in Angular is transferring data from the parent component to the child component. So suppose that we have a page called home and we want to transfer data, or we want to transfer a variable to a component called weather. So I have here a component called weather. Let's open it and check what is there. As you can see here, we have a weather component class, and inside it we have a variable called temp, which is just temperature, short for temperature. And suppose that I want to transfer data, suppose that I want to set the temperature variable from the home page. So the home page here, we have home.html, and if I add here the weather component, as you can see here, we have the weather tag. And if I want to pass or set the weather variable, and if I want to set the temperature variable here from the home, what I would do is that first of all, I need to make this temperature an input. I should add first the input decorator, input, and also import it. It will be automatically imported from the Angular core, but if it's not imported automatically, then make sure to import it here. And then this now is accessible by the home, meaning that if we pass the value from the home to the weather, it's going to be set. But how are we going to accomplish that? How can we access this temperature variable from the home? Well, it's very, very simple. In the home.html, we already have here the tag. And in order to set this temperature, what I would do is that I would here type temp for temperature and then equals to the value that I want to pass. Maybe I want to set the temperature to be 40. And as you can see in the constructor, it's 30. But since I passed it here from the home, it's going to be changed to 40. It's going to be changed to 40. Now, if I save everything and go to and just use the Ionic serve and then hit enter. So as you can see now, we have here the temperature is 40, not 30, because we changed the value from the home. We passed the value from the home to the weather component. But this is actually not very useful. What's useful is that suppose that I have here a home, in the home.ts, a function that is going to calculate the temperature. So for example, let's say we have here a variable called, let's here create a variable called public. and then T for temperature, and then we set it in the constructor or in any function. Here, let's say this dot T equals to 50. And if I pass this T into the temp instead of 40, what I'm gonna get is that I'm gonna get 50. And as you can see, we get here 50 because we changed the value in the home page. So this is how you can pass a value from the home to the child. So if you like this video, make sure to share, like, and subscribe. And also make sure to check the description below because I have important information as well as a free ebook on how to make money coding. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Most from calmandcode.com. Today I'm gonna teach you how you can create a loading pop-up window in Ionic. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's get started. So creating loading window, a pop-up window is very important, especially when the user logs in. You might want to show them that something is happening behind the scenes. You are authenticating them, or maybe in a transition from one page to another, it's important to display the loading so that the user knows that something is happening and doesn't get frustrated, because users these days want the app to be very fast, and we need to inform them that it's something is loading. We are doing something behind the scenes. So in order to create a window like this, a pop-up window in Ionic, I'm going to show you the example with a button. And of course, you can use it in any part of your application. So for example, we have here a button and it just says here, click me. So I'm going to add a click event, click, and let's create the function. The function, let's name it pop up. And in the home.ts, let's create the pop-up function. Here, I'm gonna create it, pop up. And if you don't know about click events, you can go back and watch these videos in my channel. But here we have this function, and this function will display the loading pop-up window. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to use the loading controller. So you need to import the loading controller in the from the Ionic Angular. Import and then pass the loading controller from the Ionic Angular. And of course, you need to inject it into the constructor. So here in the constructor, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pass it. Let's pass it here, public, and then loading controller, CTRL, and colon, and then loading controller. So make sure you inject it into the constructor, and then in the pop-up we can use it. Let's use it. So in order to use it, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this keyword, and then dot, and then loading controller, and then dot create. This function will create the loading pop-up window, and it takes an object, and inside that object we have two attributes: the content, what we want to display. Maybe we want to display loading and three dots, and the other attribute is the duration. How long do you want this pop-up window to be displayed? How long? Maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds, it depends. Let's say we want to display it for 5 seconds. So I'm gonna pass 5,000, which means 5 seconds. And then finally, we need to display it. If you just use this, it's not going to work. You need to use the present function in order for this pop-up window to be displayed. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to store this into a local variable called loader, and then I'm going to use the loader here, loader, and then dot present. That way it's going to be displayed. So now let's save everything and test. Ionic serve and hit enter. So now as you can see, we have this button. It's going to display this pop-up window with loading, and it's going to remain for only 5 seconds. Let's click again. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost 5. Once the 5 seconds finish, it will be gone. So this is how you can use the loader or the loading controller in Ionic to display a pop-up loading window. So that's it for this tutorial. If you like this video, share, like, and subscribe. And if you want to create a complete Instagram-like application using Ionic, I have created a complete course that will teach you how to do so. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mos from commoncode.com. Today I'm going to talk about pipes in Ionic. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's get started. So what is a pipe? A pipe is just a piece of code that will transform your data to a readable format or apply some kind of transformation on your data before it gets displayed to the user. So for example, maybe we have the price and we want to display the discount. And in order to display the discount, we can simply create a pipe that will apply the discount on that price, and it will be displayed to the user instead of each time calculating the discount for each single item. So let's create a pipe that will do that. In order to create a pipe, you would just type Ionic, and then G for generate, and then pipe, and then the name of the pipe. Let's name it discount. And then hit enter. And on the left, you will find that a new folder has been created called pipes, and inside it, there is a folder called discount. And inside it, we have the discount.ts, which is the file that will apply the discount to our price. But before we start working on the discount pipe class here, make sure to import it into the app.module.ts. So inside the app.module.ts, here we need to import first we type the from, and then it's inside the pipes folder, pipes, and then we have the discount folder, and then we need to import the discount.ts, which is just discount. And the name of the class goes here. The name of the class is discount pipe. And finally, we just import it into the declarations array here, discount pipe. And now we can use it. But let's go first to the discount.ts. We have here, by default, we have a function called transform, which is the function that will be used each time you apply this pipe to any piece of data you have. And by default, it's going to use the lowercase, but we don't want to transform our piece of data to a lowercase. What we need to do is to apply some kind of discount. So here we have the value, which is a string, but we aren't going to use a string. Instead, we are going to use a number. So instead of string here, I'm gonna use a number. I'm gonna change it to a number. And then we have here return value dot to lowercase. I'm going to remove this part, and what we need to return actually is that we need to apply our discount. Suppose that our discount is 15%. So what we need to do is that we need to get that value that we are going to get and then multiply it by 0.85, which means that it's going to return 85% of the original price, meaning that we applied 15% discount. So this is a discount pipe that will be applied to our price. But the question now, how are we going to use this transform? How are we going to call this function? Actually, it's very simple. You aren't going actually to call this function directly. What are you going to do instead is that in any HTML file, suppose in the home here, we have a div, here dev, and we also have, let's say we have h1 tag, and here it says here price, and h2, and inside it we have the price. But let's create first the price variable in the home.ts. So here, suppose I have the price, and let's say it's 100. This is the original price, 100. And here in the home.ts, I am going to pass the price. This is the price. But now, if I save and run, I am going to get here 100 displayed on the screen. But I want to actually display not just the price, I want to display the discount. So here h2, and instead of displaying just the price, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the price, and then we apply the pipe, the discount pipe, using this sign, and then the name of the pipe. The name of the pipe is discount, just discount. The name of the pipe will be discount without the pipe word, just discount. So now we applied this pipe to the price. So here in the first h2, it should display 100, which is the original price, and here it should display the discount. And let's here just type price or original price, and then here discount. And let's now save and run. Ionic serve. So as you can see, now we have the price, which is 100, and the discount, the price after discount, is 85. And suppose that you want to change the discount to be 25%, then in the discount pipe, you would just here change this to 75.75. Now, if I save and run, as you can see, I should get here 75. As you can see, it's 75, which means that we apply 25% discount. So this is just an introduction about pipes, and they are amazing in Ionic, and of course in Angular. They will make your life much easier. You don't have to create too many functions and too many classes. They will automatically transform your data to a desirable format. So that's it for this tutorial. If you liked this tutorial, share, like, and subscribe. And also check the description below, because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Mus from calmancode.com. Today I'm gonna teach you how you can create a pop-up options menu where you can select an item from a list of items. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So let's get started. So here in the home.html, I'm going to create this pop-up menu. First, I'm going to use the ion list. And inside that list, we need to have an item, ion item. And inside the item, we will have the option tag, which is the ion select. And inside that ion select, what we need to have is the options. So the first option here, ion option. Let's say that we have a list of options of sports. So let's start with tennis. And the value that we will be taking is will be stored in the value attribute here, value, and it's going to be tennis. Let's have another two options. So this is the first one. The second one, let's say football, here football, and the value will be football. And let's say we have another one, which is running, and here inside the value, running. But how are we going to get a value after the user selects it? First of all, we need to have the ng model, which is going to store the selected value. So here I'm going to add ng model, and it's going to be equal to a variable, and that variable will store the value, the selected value by the user. So here, let's say the ng model variable is called sport, and obviously we need to create this variable in the class in the home.ts. So I'm going to create it inside the home class, homepage class. Here we have public and then sport, and obviously it's going to be a string. But the question now is, how are we going to know that a user selected an item? Well, in order to accomplish that, we use the event listener, the Ion change event listener. So here, Ion change. And this Ion change, what this Ion change is going to do is that it's going to listen for changes. Whenever a user selects one of these options, it's going to fire a function, trigger a function, and we can't do anything after that using that function. So here inside the Ion change, it's going to be equal to, let's say, selected sport, and you can pass the, let's say, the event here, event, and also let's here add the just Ion label, and let's say sports. And now we are done with the HTML code. Now in the home.ts we need to create this function, which is going to be fired, which is going to be called upon selecting one of these options. So in the home.ts, what I'm going to do is that I am going to create this function here, e, and let's just use the console log to display .log to display the e, the event, as well as the console.log, the sport variable here, this .sport, which is this sport variable that will store the selected sport. Now if I save and run, let's run. So as you can see, now we have this sports item. If I click on it, a pop-up window will be displayed with the options. Let's select the tennis and then OK. Now if let's just check the console. As you can see in the console, you will find that tennis has been selected. Tennis and then tennis. If I click again on the item and select football and then OK, it's going to display football. And the reason for this is because in the console log here, in the selected sport, we have the E as well as the this sport. So you can either pass the value in the function, in the event here, or you can just store it using the ng model and then display it, or whatever you want to do with it. So that's it for this tutorial. If you liked this video, share, like, and subscribe, and also check the description below because I have created a free ebook on how to make money online coding. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.